Okay, so we are still looking at strings, and now we're going to look at concatenate. And to concatenate something is the process of combining two strings. And you create a new string by combining those two strings. It is common to add strings together to make new strings. It's something that you'll do no matter what language you're programming in. There are methods that could do this, and you can also use the plus sign operator to add two strings together. Now, you cannot add a string and a number. You can only add two strings. So let's look at how that works by using our either our Python IDL, or you can use the inline coder, which is below. You can use this one right here. I have my Python IDL also open, so we're going to type this in. String1 equals hello. Then we have string2 equals world. And now we're going to print string1 plus string2. And when we do this, we get hello world. Now, notice that there is no space in between these. You do have to be careful of that. When you are putting two strings together, you have to remember to either add a space into one of the strings that you are adding together beforehand, or you're going to need to add that in your print. So you could do it one of two ways. You could say print string1 plus, let's do it space, plus string2. Okay, so if I did it this way and it printed out, now I have hello world, two different words. Or I could say print string, oh, I'm sorry, I need to fix string1. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say string1 is equal to hello, and I'm going to put a space. Okay, so I've put a space at the end of that word to force it to have a space. Now if I say print string1 plus string2, and I print it, now it has a space. So it's very important that you remember that when you are working with printing out strings. Also, if you notice, like right here, it's got print blue times 3. So we're going to do that. If you multiply it, it's different than adding because you're not concatenating the string together. So if I say blue, oh, I'm sorry, if I do a print and I say print and I put blue and I say times 3 and I hit enter, it's going to say blue, blue, blue. But if I put print blue plus 3, it's trying to add an integer to a string, and that's going to give you a traceback and tell you that that's not allowed. You cannot add a string. So let's see what would happen if we tried to divide a string. So if we say print blue divided by 3, and we hit enter, we also get an error because you can't do that with strings. Okay, so it's very important that you remember that as you're working with strings, that you can add two strings together, but you cannot divide them or add an integer to them, because those are actions that are done with numbers. Now, if you notice right here, if I convert my number to a string, so let's do that one time. So we're going to say print blue, and I do an add, but I take my number that I have and I convert it to a string. Now it'll add them together. So just remember that strings can be added together, but you cannot add integers or decimal numbers to a string. And you can multiply it. Like if you wanted it to print out multiple times, you could multiply it to do that, but you cannot add strings and integers. If you have any questions, just let me know.